Hey everybody. I'm not sure how many people will be coming in today. I do have a little bit of music in the background because I don't like doing videos without some kind of something in the background where it makes me feel comfortable. Hold on one second. There. That way, YouTube won't kick me off the air while I'm doing my video. I'm not trying to sell anybody's music. I'm not trying to make money off of anybody's music. I just have a message. I have been a YouTuber for the past 10 years, 11 years. That started in 2007. Wow, almost 12 years actually. Um, and I started doing hair tutorials. I would braid my daughter's hair and teach people or teach mothers how to braid their daughter's hair. All of my daughters had natural hair back then. They are now grown. My youngest is now 14, and my older children are in their 20s. Um, I am doing this video because I have had the privilege of watching Rashida Strober in all of her videos, and most of the videos I saw were, I think I probably saw about 6 or 7 videos. And it's a shame that she has to preface a lot of her videos with, I created dark skin activism. I created um, this word as it pertains to being dark skinned and speaking about it in a way that will make people interested in understanding what it is that dark skinned women go through or dark skinned people go through. So I'm going to let you know something. I am not the founder or the creator of any dark skinned um, problem or dark skinned um, issue that we have in America. I haven't chronicled that, but I have talked about it since I have been. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. um, but I have talked about being dark skinned in America over the past um, over the past 12 years since I've been a YouTuber. Um, I have 797 subscribers. I have been a YouTube partner, or have been a YouTube partner over the past maybe 7 years, 8 years, and I really haven't been doing consistent videos on anything really. So I do politics, um, skin color, sometimes hair, sometimes cooking, and but a lot of times about our community. But this one here is about um, how in 2019 we are still seen as dark skinned women, especially, are still seen as not likely to be considered good partners for our black men. Um, our melanin, not that it prevents us from seeking love and appreciation from our black men, but our melanin does not sit well with a lot of people in our society as it is. So we already have some white people looking at us as though we are criminals because of how dark we are. We already have some white men out there who are um, some white men who are using us and our skin color and their attraction to us as novelties, and they fetishize us a lot, especially in porn, where we're actually kind of fetishizing ourselves. You know, women who are in movies like or in little snuff films or whatever the hell it is. I remember Soul in Black. If you're watching, Um, we go back a long ways on YouTube, and he introduced me to um, what is the name of that porn where they have black women or put black women in situations where they are beaten and hooked up to machines and um, have Kool-Aid pouring all over them and watermelon and um, um, cotton and things of that nature where a white man is actually at the helm of making sure that this that these making sure um, that these things are done to us to make us feel small. Ghetto gaggers. When I saw ghetto gaggers, I had to actually look and see exactly who they were hooking up to these machines. They are all dark skinned women, women who are my complexion and darker. Zeno, I'm not sure if that's you, if that's how you pronounce your name, Zeno. Thank you so much. I really didn't think that I was reaching. I'll get back to what I was saying in a second, but I want to reach Zeno because I did divorce and separation videos um, from 2009 to 2012 or 2013 um, as I was getting over and going through. And I'm just happy that YouTube was here for me because when it wasn't, when I didn't see a way out of it before I used YouTube as a platform to do that, I was on the edge. And I have daughters, so I had to make sure that I stayed here and to make sure that they were going to thrive and be good women when they grew up. So I had to be an overcomer. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. I'm glad that in anything in my videos made your life a little bit better and a little bit in your situation and your process a little bit easier. Because I swear, even though sometimes I don't like YouTube, I am so happy that YouTube allowed us the ability to put ourselves out there like that, make us vulnerable, where we could chronicle our lives if we were going through something. And for me, I did it mostly because it kept me honest and it kept me humble and it kept me from jumping off of a bridge, you know. But I appreciate your videos before I went to sleep because I couldn't see a way out. I also had kids and hurt so much. So just thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's amazing. You don't know who you're touching when you share yourself. So thank you so much. Goodness. Mm. Now I feel good enough not to talk about the situation, but that would be bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about it. In the Ghetto Gaggers videos, all you saw were women. The women who put themselves in that situation were mostly um, dark-skinned black women. They didn't care. They didn't have any. They didn't, in my opinion, they didn't have a whole lot of. Uh, uh, they had self-worth issues. I think that if a black woman puts them in a situation where they allow people to beat them and subject them to all kinds of torture and and um, and just acts of depravity or depravity. I think that's the word. Self-deprecating stuff. We have issues. It tells a story about what we are and who we were raised to be and who we were basically raised by when we are in that situation on a Ghetto Gaggers video. So, with that said, dark skinned women and dark skinned women and men in this country are looked at as though we are criminals from the start. We're looked at as though when we come out of the womb, they already people already see that we're going to have a hard time growing up because our skin is too dark, and it's a shame that our skin color denotes to some people that we are inherently violent because we're dark. I'm not, and at first when I was younger, I couldn't understand how that was even possible. But then when you read history, you understand exactly where that pathology comes from. I have actually wanted in my life, I had wanted to be light skinned or white. Now, it began and ended when I was 10. That want and need to be dark, light skinned or white began and ended when I was 10 years old.
Hey, Mom. I put little vegetables and stuff in it.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Welcome. I'll just put this aside.
Okay. Put it, yeah, put a top on it, or put it in the refrigerator so it doesn't get brown.
Okay.
And I'll cook as soon as I'm done with this video.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, what?
I will cook as soon as I'm done with the video.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Where was I? Um, so yes, I have wanted to be light skinned, and I have wanted to be white when I was younger because I had a lighter skinned sister and had a light skinned brother, and they were called pretty and handsome, and I was basically not called that at all. I was pretty much called Erica, and so um, I even had a one of my grandmothers, my father's mother, stand me and one of my cousins next to each other. She's incredibly gorgeous, my cousin is, and told us she's not she's caramel, and I am darker than her. And she stood us next to each other when we were about 13, 14, well, 14 and 15. And she told her, "You are statuesque." And then she looked at me and told me, "Erica, you are petite." Now, it doesn't seem to make a big difference, Hey, at least she didn't call you ugly. Oh, well, okay, you're right. She didn't call me ugly. But what she did do was let me know that there was a difference, a major difference between me and my cousin, even though we're family. Um, our fathers look the same. So from here, from here on up, she and I looked alike. Everywhere else, our dads. So our dads and moms. But what it told me was that statuesque meant that not only was she more beautiful than I was, but her being taller made her more important. And me being shorter than she was made me stumpy and unattractive. And why are you standing in front of me? That's basically what it felt like. So, with that said, when I hear Rashida talk about the problems with being dark skinned, I totally feel her. I understand it. I resonate with it, and but I don't think that there's a big conspiracy. Um, I look at it as a problem, but I don't think that there's a big conspiracy with everything. There are black men out there that love our skin color, and they're not out to use us. There are some white men out there who just like black women just to like black women, and they're not swayed in like sexually or in some kind of weird chemical imbalance sick kind of way trying to get us in bed because we are dark skinned. So that's what keeps me sane today. I am not in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship since I got divorced. I've dated, but I haven't been in a relationship in 8 years. But I've had conversations with black men who have told me that black women, and they've told me this over the years, that black women, dark skinned black women, have attitude problems. They can't be trusted. If they are, if they act nice, you have to watch out for them because um, they could be pulling the wool over your eyes so that they can take advantage of you and take advantage of your kindness. And we have then at that point we have to We have to look at the situation like this. If our men are telling us, "I don't trust you because you're acting too nice," we have to think about exactly where that train of thought came from. So just like we have a pathology, dark skinned black women growing up in America, just like we have a pathology, our black men of every shade have a pathology. Sometimes the reason that black men don't like dark skinned black women is because their mother or their father or auntie or uncle decided that the paper bag test was something that would and should be done when picking a mate, because they equated light skin with greatness and perfection and beauty, when they actually took the whole idea of us being human out of the whole situation. We err more as human, no matter what color we are, than we do when we consider what color we are. There are a lot of people who have mental problems because they have been told that they're ugly, that they've been told you look like your ugly ass daddy, or you look like your mama, or ooh, I want to get into this too. When people talk about Michelle Obama, I argue with a lot of conservatives daily on Facebook and in Twitter. And on Twitter, I mostly encounter white people who are conservative who tell me, um, I always say it outside my way. I just take women based on how. I wonder if they'll let me see it. There it is. I just take women based on them as individuals, and I might say their family. I'd happily date a black woman no matter what shade. Thank you so much, Sino. Thank you so much for that. Because I wanted to make a really big differentiation between people who fetishize black women and people who do not fetishize black women. I I am the mother-in-law. I am the mother-in-law of of a man who is white. One of my daughters is married to a white man, and he treats her well. And he's never looked at her or he didn't consider being with her just because she was black. I believe, and because she's dated across the across the spectrum. She loves how black men look. She loves how basically it's about all about the man. It's not about the color. So, with that said, um, there are people. We still have to beware of people who are out for us because of what we look like. And we still have to beware of people who use your color as a deflection because they don't want to debate you on certain things. That's what I encounter on Twitter and Facebook a lot. Um, One of the things that they use as a deflection is they use pictures. Who is this? I'm gonna have to call her after this. There we go. It's my best friend. Um, but I was saying something and the whole everything just kind of went blank. Um, oh, conservatives have a problem with Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. They haven't been in office in 3 years and they are still going insane over these people. But what I find that's actually weird, surprising, depressing, and all around just plain fuckery is the fact that when they can't figure out anything else to say about Barack Obama, They put up pictures of Michelle Obama, who is a dark skinned woman. I think she's a little bit darker than I am. Um, maybe about that much darker than I am. They put up pictures of her, and then they start doing the meme, the meme wars. They put up Terry Crews in a dress, or they put up a monkey, which is the most racist thing you could do. Um, and then they call her a man, and they post pictures of her crotch as she's dancing or something like that. When the fabric moves and everything. Into people with sick minds, when the fabric moves, and the like something like this, if my arm is moving and everything, it looks like it's something in there. They use that as a way to say that she has a penis, on in her pants. Of course, the way her pants move and everything. Oh, her penis. Like, men are walking around with no underwear on, and that's how they hang and things of that nature. So you have to think about that. We are the most demonized of our not only our race but the species of humans, because dark skinned women work up a lot of anxiety and anger in people when we go against the grain. And I'm not necessarily talking about our black men now. I'm actually talking about people in general. um, I mention conservatives a lot. But since we're basically going back and forth between conservatives and black men, I'm gonna get on conservatives for a minute. When a black woman or a dark skinned woman decides that she doesn't agree with someone who is of a lighter hue, sometimes it's some red bones. But I digress. But when I disagree with people who are white and conservative, the first thing they call me is an angry black woman. Now, if I was a light skinned woman, they wouldn't say that. They'd probably go to other insults. But since I'm a dark skinned woman, they like to call me a welfare queen. They like to call me, because I advertise that I have 5 daughters on my Twitter account. Two are my bonus daughters, my 28 and 27-year-old bonus daughters, who are my stepchildren from my former marriage, and I still claim them. Their children are my grandchildren. So when I advertise I have 5 daughters, instead of debating me on the issue, they go, "You are a welfare queen. You are a slave on a Democratic plantation. You are." You have five daughters with um, 5 different baby fathers. You are look at your hair, comb your hair. You look like a man. uh, I get that a lot. You look like a man. But that's what they do to deflect from whatever it is that they can't talk about. So if I come with a strong argument, and the one thing you could think about is, okay, she's dark skinned, so let me just hit her on all the things that I think a stereotypical dark skinned person will probably do, or have lived through, or are doing currently in their lives right now. We are demonized every single day. Dark skinned women. This hairstyle. Now this is a yarn. This is yarn. Took me 3 days to do. But this hairstyle, in some establishments, I wouldn't be able to wear it because it's too ethnic. And it's mostly because they see dark skinned women with natural hair. Because I have an afro under this, about 5 inches. Um, they see dark skinned women as militant, angry, most likely to stab you, uh, creating problems, calling somebody the N word, and that's not what it is for a lot of us. So while I am not the dark skinned activist, I am somebody who has actually been talking about dark skin issues or issues dealing with dark skin in the black race for years. Also, I'm not coining any phrases or anything like that. I'm not writing any books about just being dark skinned and stuff like that. I'm out here letting you know that what Rashida says is absolutely true most of the time. I just can't think about it 24/7. I can't talk about it 24/7 because if I talked about how many people think I'm a man because I'm a dark skinned black woman, or because my voice is not as girly and high pitched as a lot of the softer faced, lighter women, they think that I'm ugly. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I've had a whole lot of tempering over the past um, 10, 11 years on social media. I've had times where I'll cry when people talk about how ugly I am to them or how bad my teeth are, and I'll do a video on that by itself, my teeth situation, um, how bad my teeth are, how much I look like a man by the face, and um, oh, they do the same thing to Serena Williams. Serena Williams. Oh, she's too tall and built to be a black woman. She didn't have that child. She had somebody else have the child, and that's not fair. That is not fair. If I were to exercise every single day, and I have naturally big arms, my arms are naturally big. Yes, I'm a little fat here, but when they are thinner, I have a lot of muscle mass, and it has nothing to do with me being a man or being a male. I guarantee that I am not a male. I gave birth to three children, so um, I've been called that. My shoulders are a little bit more broad, but you have to think about it. We come from fathers. Our father's DNA, our father's DNA dictate have a part in dictating exactly what we'll look like, what we'll be built like. I have a 14-year-old who's taller than my 23 and 22-year-old daughters. She's sprouting up there. She's not done yet. Her legs are hurting right now. Her knees and everything are hurting right now because she's going through that growth spurt. So the next time I see her, she'll probably be an inch taller than I am, and I'm 5'5". So, and she's like 5'4.5". So, and she has her dad's legs. They have all of my girls have these strong legs with good definition in them, and they get that from their dad. So I don't understand why it is so necessary for people to look at dark skinned women and attack the way we look as though we can actually help how we look. I came out chocolate. Sorry, not sorry, because I had no choice in what I would look like. I came out with these strong arms. That doesn't mean I want to be a man. I can't shave this off. And even if I did have the money to get plastic surgery, I'm not going to get it for whoever thinks I'm ugly. I'd rather be ugly the rest of my life than to kowtow and appease people who don't give a damn about me. You know what I'm saying? So I think in the dark skinned community, we could stand to just live in our truth and be honest about where we come from, and let people know that what you say really doesn't affect us. We'll be okay. We cannot handle, we can't help that we are dark skinned. If you don't like it, please find somebody else to communicate with. That's my opinion. Please find somebody else to communicate with. Find a lighter skinned person to communicate with. I wish I had a paper bag, but they don't give out paper bags anymore. Over here, where I am, they don't give out paper bags anymore. If I had a paper bag, that would be awesome. But they don't have any. Um, the brown paper bag in our community, which actually started with white people back in the day during the time of segregation. You couldn't come into a club unless you were lighter than a paper bag. And if you were darker, you had to go through, I guess, go through the back. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of black people who passed for white. I know one person who passed for white, and that's because the history was shared with me. But come on, it's horrible that we had to go through all of those measures just to be looked at as human. Today in 2019, why would we revert back to that bullshit? Why? I can't do anything about how you feel about what I look like. I can't do shit about it. I am not willing to change my skin color. I'm not bleaching. I am. One day I'll get my teeth fixed. That's $47,000, but later on down the line, maybe I'll get that. God willing. But other than that, I can't change anything about me. I can't change my. I can't change my jawline or my cheekbones or none of that. I can't change my forehead. I can't change my tiny ears if you don't like that. I can't change the gray in my hair. See? Maybe I could change it, but guess what? I'm 45. I've been graying since I was 28 years old. That's a family thing. But I'm not going to change that for anybody. It's better that I stay organically who I am and learn to live with and love who I am rather than please you, the people I'm talking about. Rather than please you because you don't like what I'm saying, you don't like what I'm doing, you don't like my message, you don't like my um, candor, you don't like that I am an open book, so you attack my looks. Because a dark skinned woman with an opinion is a dark skinned woman with a bad attitude. And I don't see a correlation at all. So, part of this video is dedicated to Rashida Strober. Thank you for being the dark skinned activist. Um, but understand, I've been there. Been there, done that. Sold some t shirts. Wrote it up on t shirts and sold them. Because being dark skinned in America sometimes means that you have to work 20 times, 40 times, 60 times harder just to be accepted. So you have to do other things to not be looked at as somebody who is just dark skinned. For instance, I do a whole lot of stuff outside of there. I do a lot of stuff. I sew, I sing, I spend time with my daughters, I walk, I listen to music and things of that nature. I am still a person. I don't have time to be sitting up talking about or thinking about how dark I am all damn day. When I was 17, yeah, I had plenty of time because peer pressure. But I'm 45 years old now. You can either take me or leave me right where I am and go about your business.